And we are like, good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
Good evening. How
Hmm.
are you?
I am awesome. Today I spent like a few hours outside in the woods and I
Oh,
was just like,
I know. And it's funny you should talk about that because actually, folks, what we're going to talk about tonight is a Talk to the Entity specialty called The Spirits of the Earth. And it's a class where I haven't ever facilitated a class where people do not get like super, I'm going to say, disrupted in regard to they had this amazing ability to be connected to the earth as a kid. I had a guy do the last class in Prague in October. And he said to me when he was a little boy, he used to talk to the trees and talk to the grass and talk to the birds. And some teacher or someone commented on him that he was being stupid and he gave up the capacity. And he actually came from Slovakia to Prague to do the class like it was a 5-hour drive. And I have to say, I'm so blown away at how connected people are to the spirits of the earth. And yet, for whatever reason, whoever, whatever, you know, put doubt or I'm going to say, like, made their communion with the earth not valuable, made it wrong. People give it up. And yet, for you, you just said it, the spirits of the earth are present everywhere, in everywhere. And they offer this vitality for living to me, to you, that is unspoken and yet speaks a billion words in its energy.
hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm just like, yes. It's so beautiful there. Like for
Mm.
me now it's like receiving like almost someone caressing you, when you walk through the woods. And I get like how many of you guys watching also know this, like when you have like a day where everything's like, but then you go outside and even if it's just
In a
like
day when you're living in your head.
yes. But then you go outside and even if it's just a tiny park or a street with trees, it already relaxes your nervous system.
Mm. Mm.
you know it
Mm.
works on such a
A deep level.
yeah, exactly.
It really does. And one of the things in this class, it's actually about resuscitating your communion with the spirits of the earth. And then it's working with them to restore their authority on the planet, in regard to everything where people choose to build houses, you know, just really beginning to open communication with the earth in regard to what it wants, what it desires. And I know for me, one of the big things from the Spirits of the Earth class, and the big thing it resuscitated, was the spirits of the earth will, I'm going to say, demonstrate different ways of creating your life energetically.
Mm.
You know, everything in the ecosystem knows its job. Everything knows where it belongs, and the spirits of the earth for me is this. I went for a walk by the river this morning. And sometimes, I run a business and, I have a couple of people working with me and, you could get like super heady in regard to targets and what's required. And the spirits of the earth melt all that separation and fear and really get me present with what am I unwilling to receive.
Mm.
And I was unwilling to receive today, like how great my living is. Like I have this beautiful living. I live on a 4-minute walk from a riverbank that goes for miles both ways. And I would say that every time I commune in with the spirits of the earth, I start to receive and I start to have more of me, and they show me a different reality in regard to what it is to live on this planet and what it is to actually have a body. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that with the body, because as you were talking, I could sense like my shoulders relaxing and my whole body just like receiving, like you're living too. And what you just acknowledged is, it's just so beautiful. Like there's almost no words. It's just like
Yeah,
communion.
it is. It's total communion. And I've got to say that when I was about, I remember I was probably in fourth class, which in Ireland is you're about 9 or 10.
Mm.
And I was looking out the window at a tree, and I I was actually wondering, like, what sustains living? Where do the nutrients come from the tree? And how the trunk of the tree and the roots of the tree, and how these leaves, how that's such a different consistency and texture, and how these leaves get fed. And I was looking at the sunlight and the way trees reach. And the teacher said to me, "You're off with the fairies," and I'm a total fairy. I'm a fairy and a dragon. I'm a dragon if someone gets in the way of supporting, if someone gets in the way of someone's conscious journey, let's say, in other words, become a greater. And so I made a decision that I would give up my communion with the earth and the spirits of the earth and become smart, like intelligent from the mind. And, I'm going to say disconnect from this energy. And so a lot of us that are and I can see this with you too, a lot of us that have this natural communion with the earth, and we're these very light, soft, subtle, beautiful energies, and we're a lot of space, we have been made wrong for these capacities. And I would say these capacities have been hidden in the universe of, like, it's wrong, And so if you'd love to come on this Sunday, and we do some beautiful exercises, resurrecting your communion with the spirits of the earth, allowing yourself to receive from them, and looking at the reality they're looking to gift you. And it's all about having, receiving, knowing, being. And for me, it's something that I can forget about. So I have to continuously remind myself to work with the spirits of the earth, because we're trained to believe that it is not a reality. And yet every single person that I know, they always tell me that their experience when they walk by a beautiful river, or I was in Lanzarote for a couple of days, or they swim in the sea, there's a space and a peace that the spirits of the earth have gift to our bodies that is like undeniable in their experience of living. Yeah, yeah. And there it is, folks. There's that energy of the spirits of the earth. It's a different reality. I was on to a friend today, and she is in Elgar, which is this amazing place that Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Hare created. And you could hear the birds. You were there. I could hear the birds singing in the background. Yeah. Or today I went on a walk and there was a wood pigeon. It's a very woody sound, beautiful sound. And all these sounds remind me of what is a priority for me for living, that I can sometimes forget when I'm caught up in the structure of life and whatever I've decided that I have to control or get, or that I'm missing. And so I would say the spirits of the earth are brilliant in regard to when you're living from like any type of a lie or a separation from the earth. I call on them, they're my go-to, and then my living becomes way greater and way easier. And actually the choice to work with them and to be in communion with them is a commitment to greatness in every choice that I have made to work with them and commune with them. And it's a different type of greatness. For me, it's greatness. It may not be greatness for everyone. I know it is for you, you know. And so I'd love to invite you to resurrect, resuscitate, learn to work with the spirits of the earth also, and also learn to work with them in regard to work and business, in regard to the heartbeat of the earth and the pulse of the earth, and what we can contribute to have less taking from the earth and more gifting and receiving. Beautiful.
Thank you so much for showing us this energy.
You're so welcome. I remember telling Shannon O'Hara, the creator of Talk to the Entities, that it's one of my favorite classes to facilitate. And she said, smart choice. And so if you're listening to this Facebook Live now or in the future, you may notice that there's an energy of peace rippling through. That actually is that energy that you can utilize, tap into, so that you don't have to get into all the stress of targets, production, what you have to do, that you can actually relax and be present and know that you can choose anything and you can create anything. And there's a whole world of spirit activity in nature looking to contribute to us. And are you willing to receive it? Yeah. Beautiful. So we leave it there, folks. There's a movement called Talk to the Entities. If you haven't seen these videos before, I call it a movement because Talk to the Entities is about educating you on the spirit world, and the spirit world does exist. Yes, you are aware. You are not crazy and wrong. And it's giving you amazing tools to deal with your awareness of that world. Beautiful.
And we invite you to a class on Sunday. It's 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. CET. So, yeah, you're invited.
You're invited. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.